I'm afraid to hear what the answer to this might be given your computer system problems, but will you push for employing technologies to enhance efficiency of police, such as video capability of squad cars, red light cameras, blood alcohol mobile unit, or additional motorcycle, ATV, or bicycle police?
Well, I started putting video recording systems in squad cars in 1991. And I equipped the entire fleet in my department in Illinois. And it took me 5 years to do it, but I equipped the entire fleet in Appleton, Wisconsin, which for a city its size has a large fleet because they have take-home cars. I desperately want to implement that technology here. We don't have a dime to even begin doing that. The state-of-the-art in-car video systems, which now are digital, which makes sense to me because, let me tell you, there's a room about this big back in Appleton, Wisconsin that has to store all the tapes that are generated, and I'd rather store that electronically. Those systems are probably upwards of $3,500 to $4,000 a squad car. We have 600 vehicles. Do the math. And there is no money to do that. And I'm really struggling with that because I think in-car video systems are one of the ideal tools to strengthen the trust relationship between the police and the community. I will tell you my experience in communities where we've done this is 8 or 9 times out of 10. When the people come in to beef on the police and you watch the tape, I had a classic experience. A mother called and said, "Your officer stopped my 19-year-old daughter, treated her terribly, blah, 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 and I demand that you do something." We pulled the tape and said, "Mom, come on in and watch the tape." The minute that the red and blues go on, the system is recording before the officer ever got out of their car. The officer walked up to the car, said, "Miss, may I see your license and registration?" And she started using words to him that I still blush when I think about it. And the officer the entire time was "ma'am" and this and that and polite and patient. And by the time the mother got done watching that tape, she folded her notebook up and said, "I'm sorry I bothered you," and walked out of the room. And that was my experience 90% of the time. And I think it protects the rights of the community when we videotape what we do. It protects the rights of our employees, and some of the best cops I've ever seen in action, when you ask them how can they maintain such a high level of professionalism, they say, "I just pretend I got a camera over my shoulder the whole time." You know, it's a way of self-discipline. So that is a technology I desperately want to implement, and I'm equally as desperately at a loss on how we're going to get there. Other technologies, it's such a patchwork here because we have some things here that are phenomenally state-of-the-art. If you have an IED in your front yard, we're going to do a really good job with that. We have some, thanks to Homeland Security, some incredible bomb capacity now. We're, for the whole region of the state, they're going to call us if there is an explosive device. We have explosive sniffing dogs to keep you safe when you fly out of our airport. We have some outstanding video enhancement equipment. You know, if you haven't been paying attention, we're having a lot of robberies. And some of these guys are scaring me because they're firing rounds at the store. When you can't even go to a Starbucks anymore without somebody coming in and shooting the joint up, we got a problem. And some of the video, and let me make this spiel to the ACLU of all people. You don't have to worry about Big Brother. You better be worrying about Little Brother. Because government doesn't have anywhere near the surveillance cameras and invasion of privacy technology that the private sector has. You cannot go shopping. You can't even go into a shopping center anymore without being on dozens of cameras, and it's recording what you do. And so if Big Brother scares you, let me tell you, we can't hold a candle to Little Brother. In London, you cannot take a 45-minute walk without 40 minutes of that being recorded in the community in London, England. Of course, their homicide rate is enviable for a city of, you know, umpteen million people as well. But we have this patchwork of technology, and it's a challenge because I will tell you that the bad guys, in many cases, you used to worry about being outgunned. Well, we're out technology these days. And the computer is becoming such a tool for criminals, identity theft. I pray that none of you ever have your identity stolen because it will be a nightmare. And you know, okay, we have personal testimony that you can collect after the meeting. It can be a nightmare. And some of the fraudulent activities. You know, it's fascinating, and I don't think we can change this, but in the United States, we devote thousands and thousands of police officers to fight crime on the street that in terms of dollar loss and impact of the economy is like this compared to white-collar crime that we don't even throw a handful of people at. And yet, if I say, you know, we're going to yank half those street cops off the street to do white-collar crime, so instead of taking 15 minutes to get your armed robbery, now it's going to take us 30 minutes. Unacceptable. So we have to get our hands around that, and technology is a blessing and a boon at the same time.